Hello and welcome back to Rightly Witterings with another 5-minute quick review. And today, Wodan's Spear, which I was delighted to read because it came from my new publishers, Boldwood Books. Don't know Donovan, never read any of his books before, and that's rather nice actually, because it's always good to find a new author who can write adventures with some verve and imagination. This one I picked up when I was on my way into Exeter for a couple of business meetings with the Southwest Writers, lovely group of chaps, and I took this in on my phone because I realised I'd been given this book to have a look at and I hadn't looked at it for 10 days. I thought, oh hell, I think it's probably about time I looked at it. So I copied it over to my phone, read it on the Kindle app, and I couldn't put the damn thing down. It was deeply irritating. So, what's the story about? Well, it basically follows the journeys of Octa, a Saxon, and I'm not going to be giving away too much when I say that his early days aren't happy. In fact, in the first few pages of the book, he's granted the opportunity of going into battle as shield bearer for Utric, his cousin, who's also the son of the leading warlord of the Saxons. Yes, Octa is a bit young for such a responsibility, but he's also arrogant enough, as teenager boys will be, to believe that he's perfectly competent. His father is very proud of the honour being done to him, and so his father loans him his own mail shirt and sword. Octa thinks that's proof that his father's really proud. It's the beginning of his career as the leader of warriors. That's the impression. The best laid plans, etc. It all goes to pot. Octa goes into battle, but under assault Utric is killed, and Octa is horrified and terrified and takes to his feet. He flees the field. This is obviously the most shameful behaviour for a Saxon warrior. A shield bearer is a bodyguard. It's the highest level of honour. If his leader is attacked, the shield bearer should put himself in the path of any danger. He should be the one who's willing to take the bullet for his principle, just like a modern bodyguard. Or if not a bullet, then a spear, or in this case an axe. Octa runs. He runs for miles and for days. Eventually, consumed with shame and guilt, he returned to his home, where he hears his father bitterly renouncing him. Mortified, he leaves his father's mail and sword on his father's seat, and he's about to leave when he meets his mother. She couldn't sleep that night. She urges him to go and make his fortune and return a proud warrior, and thus begins Octa's travels. He leaves his own lands and eventually turns up in the camp of Hengist and Horsa, two Jutes who are preparing to land on England's shores and hopefully try to conquer the place, basically. In their force he learns of the fabled spear of Wodan. The god's spear would make any warrior invincible, is the idea, and Octa decides he must win it by whatever means. So this book takes us through the territories of a number of tribes. It shows the different ways that people lived. It shows how the whole of society for each of these... Sorry, I've got a dog who's resting a paw with very sharp claws on my shin. Get off. Immediately in the period after the Roman legionaries had left. And it imagines really what society would have been like. I found it really fascinating, especially when you consider that England, for example, after the Romans left, there had been law, there had been the rule of law, and society knew what was happening. But as soon as the Romans left, it became completely lawless Wild West. It was mad. It was filled with powerful men determined to attack other people's families and lands and steal them. Steal cattle, steal people for slaves, steal food, steal money, steal anything they could. They just wanted to rape and plunder. But this isn't just a simple story of one man or one warband. It's the coming of age story for a young warrior, how he discovers his courage and how he becomes a war leader in his own right and takes revenge on those who tried to thwart him. It's a powerful story with a strong cast of characters. Fabulous fun for those who enjoy Dark Age stories, and I'd say basically anybody who really enjoys historical adventure type stories. But there's a sting in the tail with this because it's not just a straightforward modern day. This gets into the mindset of the superstitions and the beliefs of the people, whether it was the Jutes or the Saxons or the Angles or the ex-Romans, all of them. It puts you in their shoes. And I found it really fascinating, not just because of the historical aspects, but I thought Octa was really well portrayed, and it was one of those flaming books, thank you Donovan, that put me back about 5 days in my own bloody work, because I should have been getting on with my own books rather than reading this. Anyway, Wodan's Spear, highly recommended, great fun, enjoy it.